The Senate will come to order. Senators will be in their seats. The clerk will call the roll.
Alley, Argabright, Billinger, Blasey, Blue, Bowers, Bowser, Clays, Clifford, Corson, Dietrich, Erickson, Fagg, Faustido, Francisco, Gossage, Haley, Hill, Holscher, Klemp, Cluse, Masterson, Miller, Murphy, Owens, Peck, Peterson, Petty, Rose, Reichman, Schmidt, Schallenberger, Shane, Starnes, Sykes, Thomas, Thompson, Titus, Tyson, Warren.
Senators and guests, please rise and give prayerful attention to our guest chaplain, David Walker from Harvest Christian Center. He's the guest of Senator Klemp.
Let us bow our heads. Mighty God, who is in heaven, as this assembly comes before you, we acknowledge that you, Jesus, are the way, truth, and life. It is your sovereignty and providence that will last forever, for you are Alpha and Omega. Father God, you are our provider, protector, healer, deliverer, waymaker, helper, and salvation. That you, God, are our shepherd, and we are the sheep of your pasture. You are not just the God of ethnicity, social, economic status, or of a political party. This assembly acknowledges that you are God alone and of all people. Father God, we ask that you will grant wisdom to those that you have promoted to serve you and your people in this state. Father, turn the hearts of those in this assembly to your will. Remove the spirit of strife, pride, envy, and selfish ambitions from this assembly. Let unity, peace, compassion, and the attitude of a servant leader prevail in this assembly. Father God, open the hearts of those in this assembly to your Holy Spirit so they will govern according to your righteousness and judgment. Help this assembly to govern with empathy and compassion so all in this great state of Kansas can live in peace, harmony, and prosperity until your kingdom comes. May your will be done as it is in heaven, that it will be done in this earth. In Jesus Christ's name we pray, amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For a point of personal privilege, Chair recognizes the Senator from Montgomery, Senator Peck. Senator from Montgomery, you're not choosing to take your personal privilege?
I apologize, Mr. President. I didn't hear you call on me. But yes, I will take this opportunity to spend just a moment. In the President's Gallery on the east side, we have the high school class from West Elk. The West Elk Patriots are with us today, and I just wanted to welcome them to the Kansas Senate. Thank you, Mr. President.
See, we have pages today. We have members that wanted to introduce pages. Senator from Wyandotte, Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I'm excited to have pages here from Rosedale Middle School. Rosedale Middle School is in the Kansas City, Kansas district, District 500. And these students all are seventh graders at Rosedale. And they're, as you might imagine, they're looking forward to next week because it's spring break. And for anybody that's have had children or have been involved in school systems, you always know that that's always looked forward to. But they've all had a great day here at the Capitol, and for all of them, it was their first time here, and they made it to the top as well. So as I call your name, if you stand up, we have Isabella, Natalie, Gracie, Emily, Davion, you did it wrong. I've done it wrong every time. Xavion, it's the first time I did his name correctly after 4 tries. These students are seventh graders from, as I said, from Rosedale Middle School, Kansas School District. Please give them a round of applause.
Introduction of original motions and Senate resolutions. Clerk will read.
Senate Resolution 1734 by Senator Miller. A resolution congratulating and commending Kansas Health Science University Kansas College of Osteopathic Medicine for its inaugural commencement.
Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Miller.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's an exciting day. It's my first point of personal privilege on the Senate floor, and so I'm excited. So today I have the privilege of introducing the Kansas Health Science University, their first graduating class, right? No? Or no, we're commending, I'm sorry, excuse me, maybe some members of them are. So how about I just read what I have written down, and then we'll go from there. So the Kansas Health Science University established the Kansas College of Osteopathic Medicine, or KansasComm. That is the first osteopathic medical school in the state of Kansas, with the mission to expand access to medical education and strengthen the healthcare workforce across the region. KansasComm welcomed its inaugural class in 2022, marking a significant milestone in Kansas' commitment to addressing physician shortages, especially in rural and underserved communities. KansasComm now prepares to graduate its first cohort of osteopathic physicians on May 9th of this year. I think that's where my confusion came from. So the students in the inaugural class have demonstrated exceptional achievement through innovative research, clinical excellence, community health outreach, and leadership within professional and service organizations, establishing a strong foundation for future cohorts and contributing meaningfully to the advancement of medical education in Kansas. So I had the privilege of meeting and having lunch with some of them today. I'm very excited. The DO school is in my district in Wichita, and I would love to announce the 14 students that I have here today, as well as some staff and faculty. I guess when I say your name, go ahead and stand up so we can recognize you. We have Christian Ventura, Emily Favorito, Janique Abrams, Caitlin Quigley, Cameron Hall, Kate Vogel, Kelsey Kaplowitz, I believe it is, Lana Reeves, Lisa Fuentes, Melody Turk, Nicole Peters, Tao Nguyen, Vanessa Sevilla, Yurohan, and I believe in the gallery we have Dr. Michael Morrow, Sajan Bhakta, and Alyssa Reed, Kimberly Long, Eric Gish. We've got a lot of people. I'm not sure how many of them actually showed up today, but all here. All here, yes, okay, great. Molly Fox, Julie Rains, Gibson Combs, Dr. Ronnie Martin, Dr. John McMaster, and Dr. Robin Durrett. I guess with that, Mr. President, I move an emergency be declared, the rules suspended, and a Senate Resolution 1734 be adopted by voice vote.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. The resolution is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please welcome.
Welcome to the Kansas Senate. Good luck in your future endeavor. Messages from the House. Clerk will read.
Announcing passage of House Bill 2769. Announcing passage of Senate Bill 229 as amended by H sub for Senate Bill 229. Announcing passage of Senate Bill 271 as amended. Senate Bill 430 as amended. The House accedes to the request of the Senate for a conference on Senate Bill 300 and has appointed Representatives Hoheisel, Steins, and Shu as conferees on part of the House. The House accedes to the request of the Senate for a conference on Senate Bill 331 and has appointed Representatives Hoheisel, Steins, and Shu as conferees on part of the House. The House accedes to the request of the Senate for a conference on Senate Bill 410 and has appointed Representatives Hoheisel, Steins, and Shu as conferees on part of the House. The House accedes to the request of the Senate for a conference on Senate Bill 412 and has appointed Representative Hoheisel, Steins, and Shu as conferees on the part of the House. The House non-concurs in Senate amendments to House Bill 2468, requests a conference, and has appointed Representatives Estes, Chauncey, and Stoddsgill as conferees on part of the House. The House non-concurs in Senate amendments to House Bill 2513, requests a conference, and has appointed Representatives Waymaster, Williams, Kay, and Ballard as conferees on part of the House. Announcing passage of Senate Bill 325 as amended. Senate Bill 353 is amended. Senate Bill 403 is amended. Senate Bill 435 is amended. The House non-concurs in Senate amendments to House Bill 2422, requests a conference, and has appointed Representative Humphreys, Williams L., and Osman as conferees on part of the House. The House non-concurs in Senate amendments to House Bill 2479, requests a conference, and has appointed Representative Humphreys, Williams L., and Osman as conferees on the part of the House. House Bill 2769, an act concerning property taxation.
This constitutes introduction of those bills previously read. On a motion to accede, Chair recognizes the Senator from Sherman, Senator Billinger on 2513.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate accede to the request of the House for a conference on House Bill 2513.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. This conferees on part of the Senate. Chair appoints the Senator from Sherman, Senator Billinger, Senator from Shawnee, Senator Cluse, and Senator from Wyandotte, Senator Petty. On a motion to accede, Chair recognizes the Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Erickson on 2468.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate accede to the request of the House for a conference on House Bill 2468.
You heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. This conferees on part of the Senate. Chair appoints Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Erickson, Senator from Johnson, Senator Thomas, and Senator from Johnson, Senator Sykes. On a motion to accede, Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson, Senator Warren on 2422.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate accede to the request of the House for a conference on House Bill 2422.
You heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. This conferees on part of the Senate. Chair appoints Senator from Johnson, Senator Warren, Senator from Pottawatomie, Senator Titus, and Senator from Johnson, Senator Corson. Motion to accede, back to Senator from Johnson, Senator Warren, 2479.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate accede to the request of the House for a conference on House Bill 2479.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. This conferees on part of the Senate. Chair appoints Senator from Johnson, Senator Warren, Senator from Pottawatomie, Senator Titus, Senator from Johnson, Senator Corson. We're now ready for final action. On this roll call, we'll take the following. The bills on page 2 and 3, Senate Bill 304, 340, 381, 384, 406, Senate sub for House Bill 2212, and House Bill 2635. Clerk will read the titles.
Senate Bill 304, an act concerning the Department of Health and Environment Office of Vital Statistics. Senate Bill 340, an act concerning education. Senate Bill 381, an act concerning education. Senate Bill 384, an act concerning education. Senate Bill 406, an act concerning education. Senate Sub House Bill 2212, an act concerning extraordinary events. House Bill 2635, an act concerning health care.
Clerk will call the roll.
Alley. Argabright. Billinger. Lazy. Blue. Bowers. Bowser. Clays. Clifford. Corson. Dietrich. Erickson. Bag. Vascado. Francisco. Gossage. Haley. Hill. Holscher. Klemp. Cluse. Masterson. Miller. Murphy. Owens. Peck. Peterson. Petty. Rose. Reichman. Schmidt. Schallenberger. Shane. Starnes. Sykes. Thomas. Thompson. Titus. Tyson. Warren.
Has every senator had an opportunity to vote? Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President. I vote no on 381, no on 384, no on 2635, and aye on the balance.
Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Vascado.
Mr. President, I changed my aye to a yes, or I'm sorry, to a no. House Bill 2635, aye to no. Thank you.
Will be recorded. Does any senator wish to explain their vote? Senator from Douglas, Senator Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. President. Many of the people who are asking us to codify the protections for pregnancy centers through House Bill 2635 are the same people who have worked to take away the rights of bodily autonomy from others. This bill says the legislature hereby finds and declares that, before listing 7 findings, a statement that pregnancy centers provide comprehensive care, another that they equip women with complete and accurate information regarding pregnancy options, both contrasted with the statement that the centers provide support and resources for women who choose childbirth over abortion. I'm a member of the committee that heard the bill. Much of the testimony in favor was from the directors of the pregnancy centers and none from any of their clients. The testimony in opposition questioned the declarations, including a client who spoke of her disturbing experience with a pregnancy center, a physician who shared concerns about possible outcomes of medical misinformation, and a rabbi who noted that Jewish tradition supports the paramount import of medically accurate reproductive health education. There was more testimony in opposition than in favor, and no discussion in committee of any of the evidence for the findings. I do not want to mislead my constituents. I vote no.
Any further explanation? Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Fauskido, could you repeat your entire vote? They just want to make sure they got it right.
Mr. President, I vote no on 381, no on 2635, aye on the balance.
Thank you very much. Any changes of vote? Seeing none, clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. With 40 having voted in favor and none opposed, the passage of Senate Bill 304, Senate Bill 340, and Senate Bill 406. 26 in favor, 14 opposed to Senate Bill 381, 32 in favor, 7 opposed to 384, 38 in favor and 2 opposed to 2212, 31 in favor and 9 opposed of House Bill 2635. These measures, having received the constitutional required majority, are hereby declared passed. Chair recognizes the senator from Sedgwick, Majority Leader Blasey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of bills on the calendar under the heading of General Orders.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Chair appoints the senator from Jackson, Senator Bowser, to preside over the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you again, committee, for the opportunity to learn. The Senate, having resolved itself on its Committee of the Whole, will now consider those items listed on the calendar in the heading of General Orders. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2568. Chair recognizes Senator from Montgomery, Senator Peck, to explain the bill and adopt the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move adoption of the committee report.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Senator, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those of us who were here a couple years ago, you will remember that during the 2024 legislative session, we passed legislation requiring that if an economic impact statement submitted for a proposed rule or regulation indicates that during the first 5 years, the cost of implementation and compliance are expected to exceed $1 million, such rule and regulation shall be not be adopted unless it has been ratified by the legislature. Therefore, we have House Bill 2568 Passage of 2568 will authorize the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks to adopt proposed administrative rules and regulations concerning motor vehicle permits, camping fees, utility fees, and other fees or registrations. Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks submitted the proposed permit and fee increases to the Division of Budget on March 6, 2026. So this will increase fees in our parks and some of the permits. The last fee increases were in 2017 and 2018. Now, Mr. Chairman, just to give the committee a little bit of an idea about what type of fees we're looking at increasing, or the department is looking at increasing, the daily motor vehicle permit fee will go from $3.50 to $5.50. The senior or disabled daily motor vehicle permit will go from $1.75 to $3.50. The annual motor vehicle permit will go from $22.50 to $37.50. Senior or disabled annual motor vehicle permit will increase from $11.25 to $17.50. And I could go on, but I think this at least gives the body an idea of what type of increases we're looking at. Now, we are eliminating some fees that have not been utilized and increasing several others. We made a couple changes in the bill as it came to the committee. One, there was a reviser's spelling error. The word changes was changed to the word charges, actually just a one-letter change. And then we put in rules and regulations in place of economic impact statement, and we changed the date that the information was given to the Division of Budget from January to March the 6th. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll be happy to stand for questions.
Are there questions for the senator from Montgomery? The chair recognizes Senator from Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just asking if the senator from Montgomery would agree that we heard some testimony from the Wildlife and Parks Division that, in fact, the cabin charges or the fees for cabins are so low that they feel that they're in unfair competition with the surrounding communities. And just asking if the senator from Montgomery heard that same thing.
Chair recognizes Senator from Montgomery.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I did.
Are there any additional questions for the senator from Montgomery? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move when the committee rise and report, it report House Bill 2568 favorable for passage.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2652. Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson, Senator Warren, to adopt a committee report and explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move we adopt the committee report.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think most of us have heard or are familiar with the saying, justice delayed is justice denied. So this bill helps address that, helps promote the efficient administration of justice by looking at delays in court decisions. Court decisions at the appellate level, they undermine, delays undermine confidence in the judicial system. They prolong uncertainty for the litigants. They can hinder resolution of critical legal matters. Victims wait longer for closure, and businesses endure prolonged litigation risks. So what the bill does to help advance the efficient administration of justice is it requires the clerk of the appellate courts to publish a list of cases of the appellate courts every month where no decision has been rendered in 6 months. So once you've had a case that's been fully submitted at the appellate court level or a petition for review to the Supreme Court, and it's been on there for 6 months, then every month the clerk of the appellate court is going to put on their website, these are the list of cases, the names of cases, the dates they were submitted, and they haven't been decided yet. That report will also be sent to the governor, to the House and Senate Judiciary Committees, as well as the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate. With that, Mr. Chair, I will stand for questions.
Are there questions for the senator from Johnson? Chair recognizes Senator from Douglas, Senator Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question for the senator from Johnson is, would this additional requirement get in the way of them just getting on with their work?
Senator from Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No, in fact, the clerk of the appellate courts, they already have the docket, and so it just kind of requires the reporting of that docket and where cases are on the queue, if you will, put it on the website and administer or share that report with the entities that are in the bill.
From Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate what our courts are doing. They are their own branch of government. Perhaps we, as a legislature, should publish a list of all the bills that have been entered within 6 months and how long it's been before they've had a hearing. Thank you very much.
Are there any additional questions for the senator from Johnson? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that when the committee rises and reports, it reports House Bill 2652 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2507. The chair recognizes Senator from Montgomery again. Senator Peck, you may explain the bill and adopt the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move adoption of the committee report.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Senator, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kansas is a destination waterfowl hunting state. We have Cheyenne Bottoms. We've got the Neosho Wildlife Area, Mendocino's Wildlife Area, and those are just a few of the popular places that are in what's called the Central Flyway Migration System. Over the past several years, we have had an issue that the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks has been trying to address, and they have been confronting a problem with waterfowl hunting pressure on our Kansas lands, particularly by non-resident waterfowl hunters. They come to Kansas to take advantage of the excellent waterfowl habitat that we've got. That all sounds good until you realize there are a limited number of birds. The current waterfowl stamp's maximum fee is $8, whether you're a resident of Kansas or a non-resident. Last year, if you will remember, we had made an attempt to address this issue. The attempt failed in the House, so we're going at it from a totally different angle, and that is what House Bill 2507 does. It changes the fee for resident waterfowl hunters to not more than $15. Currently, it's not more than $8 or a maximum of $8, so this would be a maximum of $15. 2507 also establishes a minimum $100 fee to not more than or a maximum of $200 for non-resident hunters. The fee was last updated in 2001. This fee will help to address the ongoing waterfowl issue of the pressure that is put on our Kansas public lands in particular. The increases in fees also will allow the department to leverage some federal grant funds to further enhance migratory waterfowl habitat projects and programs across Kansas. Although the maximum fee will increase the amount changed to hunters, it's set in the department's regulations. So the department will actually determine, we just establish a maximum for resident and a minimum and maximum for non-resident. Now, this fee fund that goes to the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, which is a fee-funded agency, has been directed by the legislature when they issue the migratory waterfowl habitat stamps. It is for the purpose of protecting and promulgating migratory waterfowl, including the acquisition by purchase or lease of migratory waterfowl habitats in the state and for the purpose of development, restoration, maintenance, or preservation of waterfowl habitats. That pretty much covers everything that I feel is important, but I'm happy to answer questions, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any questions for the senator from Montgomery? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move when the committee rise and report House Bill 25-7 favorable for passage.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2433. Chair recognizes Senator from Potawatomi, Senator Titus, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 2433 would amend the prohibitions on the County Home Rule Act to clarify that counties may not place any additional burdens or regulations dealing with the appropriation of water or the transfer of water on the, under those respective acts. I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
Are there any questions for the senator from Potawatomi? Chair recognizes Senator from Lynn, Senator Tyson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield to the good senator from Reno.
Chair recognizes Senator from Reno.
Well, that's very kind. You didn't need to do that. This is an important bill, and I think it's something that needs to be done. There's a long time coming. Water is a precious resource, as we know, and with that in mind, I actually do have an amendment.
Have you turned it in?
I have. It's 4258.
Okay, we'll pause just for a moment while we hand that amendment out. Senator from Reno, do you want to explain your amendment or have it read?
Well, I'll explain. It's much longer than it really needs to be as far as the explanation is concerned. This does not change the underlying bill. The issue with Hayes and Russell and the water. What this does is that if there's been a drought, it would just prohibit the installation of a data center in any county that was water drought emergency declared in the last 3 years. Pursuant to KSA 48-924, the governor may declare a state of disaster emergency when there's a drought emergency. The governor may do so when advised by the Kansas Water Office, pursuant to KSA 74-2608. That a state of drought exists. There's not a statutory or regulatory definition of drought, though the term is often used in statute as well as the Kansas Water Office regulations. The National Integrated Drought Information System on drought.gov is an organ of the U.S. government that defines drought as a deficiency of precipitation over an extended period of time, usually a season or more, resulting in a water shortage. This definition seems to be consistent with the use of Kansas Water Office, though it's impossible to say with certainty since there is no legally binding definition. If this law were to go into effect, the following counties would be affected: Harvey, Reno, Sedgwick, until May 12 of 2028, and Hodgman, Ness, and Pawnee, and Rush until June 7th of 2027.
Chair's going to recognize Senator from Potawatomi, and then we'll see if there's any questions on the amendment. Senator from Potawatomi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't believe this interferes with the underlying intent of the bill, so I will leave it to the will of the body on this amendment.
Chair recognizes Senator from Barton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As somebody who represents 3 of those counties that were listed, Ness, Pawnee, and Rush, water is a drastic issue that we have out in western Kansas, and so I support this amendment. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator from Finney, Senator Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It may be ironic to my colleagues, but Finney County, which is near adjacent to these counties, has data center projects teed up. We're going to take 2,000 acres that's irrigated with 1 billion gallons of water and reduce that with air-cooled data centers to 1 million gallons. So it's a net savings in our county. And I'm not sure if these other counties were consulted. The senator from Barton County, of course, has 3 of those counties, so I hope that the senator's checked. But I certainly think there's a potential for drier counties to have actually a water savings from the data center developers that we are speaking to. So I will not be in favor of this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson, Senator Holscher.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just got my copy of the amendment and I'm trying to catch up. Could you just clarify for me again quickly? Excuse me, it's a prohibition in certain counties in terms of the time frame of a drought? Sorry.
All right, if there's been a drought emergency declared in relation to statute within the last 3 years, and there's 7 counties down there at the bottom that are listed.
Okay, very good. I do appreciate, I'm going to try to digest this a little bit more, but I do understand the concern with data centers being obviously a huge usage in terms of water. So like I said, I'm going to try to digest this a little bit more. So thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator from Leavenworth, Senator Clem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's a lot to unpack in this, and I'm curious why we would not have run this through committee. So maybe there's a conversation there. We're running this at the last minute. There's a lot of activity right now around data centers, and I think it needs a real good scrubbing. And this may be a good amendment, but I'm not sure why we're doing it at this point in time. So I would just ask the question from the good senator, is there any reason that we couldn't have this discussion and then decide? Because it does affect all counties if there was going to be a drought in all counties. And we should all have a say in that discussion.
Chair recognizes Senator from Reno.
This just came up just in the last couple of days. There just wasn't time to run it as a bill from the start.
Senator from Leavenworth.
I appreciate the good senator's comments, and I do appreciate the push for these types of amendments because it does get us thinking. But I think we need to pause for a second and do what's right for the state of Kansas. And this may or may not be that, but I'd sure like to be a part of that conversation. I appreciate your time.
Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson, Senator Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do support this amendment. I just pulled up the U.S. Drought Monitor. I'm looking at a graph that shows the percentage of the High Plains area involved in drought in the last 26 years. And in that time period, there's only a few little spots. I'm just estimating here, it looks like maybe 10 to 20% of that 26-year period where there has not been drought in the High Plains area. This is significant. The other thing I want to bring up is that even if they are using air-cooled data centers, that requires more power usage. That puts more pressure on the power plants who also use water in the process of cooling the plants. So no matter whether it's a data center using the water through a water-cooled process, and I realize a lot of them are trying to transfer toward the air-cooled or closed-loop type system, none of these data centers want to be in the energy-producing industry. And even if they did, even if they want to construct their own power generation source, it's going to be years for that to happen. So the existing power plants are going to have to take up the slack, and that requires water for them as well. And that, even in eastern Kansas, where the drought sometimes is not as bad, it's still a big concern. And so water is a major concern in a drought-prone state like Kansas. If you look at the Kansas River near where I live, you can literally walk across the river. And were it not for the streams coming in from Milford and Tuttle and Perry, there would be no water in that river. It's a significant problem. It feeds Water One, which services Johnson County and the growing population there. So I think we have to control the water sources. I think we can't just dive willy-nilly into this. and I think this is a good amendment, and I support it. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson, Senator Sykes.
Thank you. Not to disagree with whether this is a good amendment or not, but I do think it is expanding the subject, so I'm going to ask for a germaneness ruling.
Germaneness has been questioned. We need to call the Rules Committee. We'll stand at ease for a minute while the Rules Committee huddles.
More than a deal. Because we need to change it. Bill we passed last year. They don't care about location.
All right, committee, we're going to come back to order. The chair recognizes Senator from Cherokee, Senator Schallenberg, for an explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rules Committee has looked over the amendment and the original bill, and we consider the amendment to be germane.
It is germane. Okay. Very good, committee. We are back on the amendment. Chair recognizes Senator from Meade, Senator Reichman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And being an old government teacher, it just gives me a lot of pause and red flags when we bring amendments on the floor that not thoroughly vetted. And when we're talking about major change here, we're talking about industry and what I know. Everyone knows, and if you're in Meade, Kansas, you're concerned about water. But we don't make major changes to the law on the fly. And I urge you all, cool your jets. There'll be another time to speak what you want to do on this, but vote no on this amendment. Thank you.
Senator Reno, okay. Chair recognizes Senator from Douglas, Senator Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I understand that this act wouldn't apply to any large load data center that was installed, placed, constructed, or operated on or before July 1st of this year. But my concern is that for the future, it says a new large load data center shall not be installed, placed, constructed, or operated within any county that has a drought emergency declared within the preceding 3 calendar years. So does that mean if a data center was built in 2027 and then there was a drought in 2028, does that mean the data center could not then be operated for the next 3 years?
Chair recognizes Senator from Reno.
No, not at all. That's in relation to building it. So once it's under construction and once it's built, it can be operated.
Senator from Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So then why does it say on B, a new large load data center shall not be installed, placed, constructed, or operated?
Senator from Reno.
You've got me. Just being honest. The intent is that if there's been once there's a drought been declared, then you've got a 3-year period if nothing's been started. So if it's already running, if it's already started, everything like that, it is ongoing.
Senator from Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So again, I'm reading this. This is on the first page, the small little b at, in the last paragraph. A new large load data center shall not be installed, placed, constructed, or operated. To me, that means even if you have the data center, then if you have the drought, that you may not be able to operate it. So my concern is the Kansas Corporation Commission has worked to identify a tariff for large load data centers, and then because of that tariff, these data centers would be tied in to paying electricity whether they use it or not. If we leave the word operated in here, then, and we are telling them they have to shut down, we're asking them to pay their electricity bill, which will be significant during that time. So I want to make sure that the senator can tell me, the senator from Reno can tell me why or where in this amendment wouldn't that operation be denied.
Senator from Reno.
I would just tell the senator that the only thing is it starts off, it says a new load data center shall not be installed. If it's already going, it's not new.
Senator from Douglas.
Thank you. But it's installed, placed, constructed, or operated, so I don't know how long new lasts. Thank you.
Are there any additional questions on the amendment? Chair recognizes Senator from Butler, Senator Fagg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could the good senator from Reno stand for a question?
He's standing.
All right. My first question would be, why don't they use a moratorium for this instead of using what the flood or the water issue?
Senator from Reno.
It's just the way the bill was drawn up by the revisers. That's all I can tell you.
Senator from Butler.
How much water does a data center use?
Senator from Reno.
It depends.
Senator from Butler.
So as you look around the country, do you think other states are wanting data centers?
Senator from Reno.
I don't know.
Senator from Butler.
So does a good senator understand the jobs around this and also the property tax? We talk about property tax all the time. This is a big answer to property tax for counties that do want these things. So I think we need to be very careful in what kind of statement we're making until we know all the facts on these data centers. And I think that's kind of a case-by-case basis. And if your county don't want it, you do a moratorium. But I think tying this to water is the wrong way to do this, so I stand in opposition. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator from Lynn. Senator Tyson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I appreciate the comments. I don't agree with them. We heard the same thing in the Chiefs Stadium argument. We've heard it for all these other, that we bring in Panasonic, we bring in the Chiefs, we bring in NASCAR years ago. Oh, that's going to save us on property taxes. We bring in these data centers. That's going to save us on property taxes. How will that save us when the local governments are abating the property taxes on these facilities? I stand for the amendment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any additional questions on the amendment? Chair recognizes Senator Johnson or Corson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm opposed to this amendment. I mean, this is a big wholesale policy change that we'd be making, and we've had no input, to my knowledge, at all from the counties that would be affected by this. And so this is something that really deserves a hearing. It deserves the opportunity for the elected officials and citizens from the counties that would be affected by this to be able to make their voice heard before we just, on a whim, impose this on them. Because this is fundamentally an issue for those counties, I think, to decide whether they feel like this is an appropriate thing for their community. And it may make sense for some, it may not for others. But again, that is, I think, the judgment that is best left to those people who've been elected by their local communities to make on behalf of their constituents. This is also really a wholesale policy change. I mean, we just less than a year ago voted for Senate Bill 98. It had 26 votes. Every member of our caucus, except the senator from Douglas, voted for it to incentivize data centers to come to Kansas. And so I think for us to just reverse course less than a year when we just said that data centers were something that we wanted to assess for Kansas, I just think that's wrong. So I'll be opposing this amendment.
Are there any additional questions on the amendment? Seeing none, Senator, you may move your amendment. Oh, sorry. Chair recognizes Senator from Sherman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Question, how many counties in Kansas have been under this order of drought in the last 3 years?
Senator from Reno.
Right now, Harvey, Reno, and Sedgwick until May of 2028. Hodgman, Ness, Pawnee, and Rush until 2027, so 7.
Senator from Sherman.
Thank you. I think there's been a lot said about this proposed amendment, and I really don't think this should go in on this bill. This particular bill is trying to straighten out some laws for transfer of water, so I'm going to oppose this.
Any additional questions for the Senator from Reno on the amendment? Seeing none, now Senator from Reno, you may move your amendment.
Thank you, Chair. I would say that I've had one text while we've been talking from a county commissioner in one of these counties who fully supports this. So I think that the issue here is that the good senator from Leavenworth talked about how we're rushing into this amendment. I would say we're rushing into data centers. There's a lot we don't know. There's an awful lot we don't know. And so where are we going to go with that? I'm not a prophet, I don't know. But I know lots of times when we jump into things, we start, as has been stated, we start saying, well, we're going to give you a break for this, and promises for this, and promises for that. It never works out. It just doesn't work out. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I move my amendment.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. No. Sounds like the noes have it. The motion fails. Division's been called. All those in favor of the amendment, please stand. You may be seated. All those opposed to the amendment, please stand. Thank you. Everybody may be seated. The motion fails. 11 in favor, 22 opposed. We are back on the bill. Chair recognizes Senator Potawatomi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that when the committee rises in report, it reports House. Mr. Chair, I believe there are further comments on the bill. I would yield to the senator from Barton.
Sorry. Chair recognizes Senator from Barton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I represent Edwards County, which is part of the issue with this bill. And so I'm just doing my due diligence to explain the Edwards County point on this bill. It has been written, this bill is for the whole entire state, but right now it specifically is talking about Hayes versus Edwards County. There have been numerous lawsuits over this issue for the past 30 years. The senator from Cali put on all of our desks Hayes's timeline, so you can see the history of when all this started with the R9 Ranch. And millions and millions of dollars have been spent on this with numerous lawsuits. When I talk about lawsuits, I'm talking about right now, there's one at the Supreme Court level, and we're still waiting for a ruling. And so with that being said, there are numerous concerns. Proponents say that this won't affect the outcome of the Supreme Court ruling. Opponents are saying, let's wait till we hear the Supreme Court ruling. This bill has been something that we've heard from opponents and proponents are on completely opposite sides, and I don't think there is a compromise, unfortunately. There's been talk about making this legislation to mirror oil and gas, like proponents are saying to have it mirror oil and gas. Opponents are saying, then here is the true amendment to make it mirror oil and gas. But then I hear from other folks saying water and oil gas should not be mirrored. So this is a really, really big issue. I appreciate the local government committee letting me voice my concerns and try to bring amendments on this bill. Unfortunately, they did not get on the bill. And the last thing I just want to say is during testimony, we heard from a business owner from down in that area that they said they've seen this happen in Texas, and the city of Lubbock did the exact same thing years ago to a town in Texas that had 800 people in it and for a population, and now they're down to 0. There's not a single person because all the water was taken away. So with that, I stand here hoping that you guys will also support my district and we oppose this bill. And I ask that before you vote tomorrow, Mr. Chair, that we have a chance to read the numerous emails we have received on this issue and just at least hear what the opponents have to say. Thank you.
Now we're back on the bill. Chair recognizes Senator Potawatomi, Senator Titus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to close out, I would note, this is one piece of a very long and deliberative process. We have statutes, regulations, and the Division of Water Resources, the chief engineer, including an entire transfer panel of all of the water experts in the state, have been involved in this process from day one. The pros and cons have been weighed. That process is still moving forward. This bill just clarifies what would happen after the fact and allow that state decision to be implemented. So I would encourage your support of this bill. Mr. Chair, I move that when the committee rises and reports, it report House Bill 2433 favorably for passage.
You've heard a motion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Chair recognizes Senator from Sedgwick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I interrupt this floor debate to announce that the Conference Committee on House Bill 2468 will meet at 3:45 in 218 North. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Committee, if I can have your attention, we are going to, without objection, we're going to pass over Senate substitute for House Bill 2745, and it will keep its place on the calendar. We will now turn our attention to substitute House Bill 2250. The chair recognizes Senator from Finney, Senator Clifford, to explain the bill and adopt the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move we adopt the committee report.
You've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Senator, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2250 passed the House 120-0. It states that emergency administration of an expired opioid antagonist, better known as Narcan, is a protected act immune from civil action or criminal prosecution. If a person administering such expired product sees that a person needs medical assistance or the person requested emergency assistance after using a controlled substance. This protection does prohibit pharmacists, healthcare workers like me, or school nurses from prescribing, dispensing, distributing, or furnishing intentionally expired naloxone. There were 4 oral proponents and written proponents, including the KDHE Chief Medical Officer and the KDAD's Commissioner of Behavioral Health. There was 1 opponent from the drug tech industry. The committee amended the bill so that expiration only could be extended for 10 years, and it gave protection from civil liability for first responders accidentally using an expired opioid agonist. I will stand for questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the senator from Finney? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is an excellent bill. These are expensive drugs, and when they outdated, cost public health departments, schools, and others a considerable amount. So I move that when the committee rises and reports, it reports House Bill 2250 favorably for passage.
You've heard a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2413. Chair recognizes Senator from Meade, Senator Reichman, to adopt the committee report and explain the bill.
I move we adopt the committee report.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we adopt the committee report. And although after carrying the bill on Monday regarding the theft of grain and hay, now this is one on horses and cattle thieves. My wife was worried I'm going to start being addressed as Senator Typecast. As just indicated, HB 2413 is about horses and cattle thieves, with such acts being treated as a level 5 non-person felonies. As an Old West guy, I often amend in the judiciary to have the punishment be death by hanging for the first offense and a $500 fine for the second. But it died for lack of a second. Believe it or not, the measure actually passed the House with 3 nay votes, since we're talking about horses, 121 to 3. I will add that the bill also includes as a crime the theft of an implement of husbandry. defined as farm vehicles used or related to agricultural purposes. But the core focus is still on what used to be called wrestling in the livestock themselves. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll be happy to saddle up for any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the senator from Meade? Chair recognizes Senator from Lyons, Senator Argerbright.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to Cowboy. I stand in support of this bill and just compliment our House colleagues. They started on this last year and brought a lot of stakeholders to the table, just at a minimum to get the thieves to the courtroom, because the misdemeanors weren't even getting them to the courtrooms at time, according to the hearing that I watched. So I appreciate the efforts and I support the bill. Thank you.
Any additional questions for the senator from Meade? Seeing none, Senator from Meade, you may close.
I move when the committee Rise and reports HB 2413 favorably for passage.
You've heard a motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2605. Chair recognizes Senator from Leavenworth, Senator Klemp, to explain the bill and adopt the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that we adopt the committee report.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm proud to be in front of this body on behalf of the Transportation Committee to discuss House Bill 2605. It is a Memorial Highway designation bill, also known as the Deputy Brandon Gady, I'm sorry. I've been practicing that today and I still got it wrong. Gady bill. So the key points. The bill designates a portion of Highway 36 as a Deputy Sheriff's Brandon Gady Memorial Highway. The designation segment runs from the eastern city limits of Phillipsburg to the western city limits of Phillipsburg and Kansas. The purpose is honoring Deputy Brandon Gady, recognizing his service and sacrifice in law enforcement. Brandon was called to respond to a report concerning an illegal explosives on June 27, 2025. While attempting to arrest the suspect drew a concealed revolver and fired a weapon, critically wounding Brandon. Despite his injuries, he returned fire, thus subduing the subject. Brandon passed away later that same day as a result of the injuries that he sustained in the arrest. He was honored as the 2025 Sheriff Deputy of the Year by the Kansas Sheriff's Association. He will always be remembered for being a genuine, one-of-a-kind person, a true hero, and his legacy will live on in his family and his community and the state of Kansas. The Kansas Department of Transportation, KDOT, would be responsible for installing and maintaining appropriate memorial highway signage once funding of the signs is available. Mr. Chair, I stand for questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the senator from Leavenworth? Chair recognizes Senator from Cloud, Senator Bowers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate District 36 includes Phillips County. And for my colleagues, if you have another chance to go back and read House Bill 2605, it's a beautifully written bill and memorial to our Brandon Grady, our deputy. So if you have a chance to read that, it was written by our transportation revisor, Adam Siebers. He did a wonderful job, and I fully support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions for the senator from Leavenworth? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I appreciate the comments from the good Senator Cloud. And I move that when the committee rises and it reports House Bill 2605 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2478. Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson, Senator Gossage, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 2478 would require an applicant for an advanced practice registered nurse license, APRN, or registered nurse anesthetist, CRNA, to be fingerprinted and for state national criminal history record checks. I should state that this is already happening. It's part of regulation. However, when the FBI and the KBI did their audit, the recommendation was this should be codified in law, and that is what this bill does. And I will stand for questions.
Good, thank you. Are there any questions for the senator from Johnson? Chair recognizes Senator from Wyandotte, Senator Petty.
Thank you. And my only question would be dealing with this bill and the fingerprinting, House Bill 2478. It's 2478. Is this also, do we now have this in statute for other medical professions?
Senator from Johnson.
This bill does not address that, Mr. Chair, as this was just fulfilling a recommendation from KBI and FBI for the Board of Nursing. Thank you.
Senator from Wyandotte.
Thank you for the answer. I'm just for my information, if it's is important and was a recommendation for the KBI, then I would assume, I would wonder, have they made similar, or have they been asked to make similar recommendations concerning either anyone that's with the Board of Healing Arts?
Senator from Johnson.
And Mr. Chair, I do not know what else the KBI or FBI may have recommended to what other board.
Senator from Wyandotte.
Thank you. I guess that will cause me to do a little research, because it seems that if this is a recommendation dealing with those with nurses, and actually this was brought forward by a nurse, an APRN. I'll check to see if it, because it seems like it should be applicable to all of the healing arts. Thank you.
Any additional questions for the senator from Johnson? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that when the committee rises and reports, it reports House Bill 2478 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. We will now turn our attention to House Bill 2540. The chair recognizes Senator from Shawnee, Senator Dietrich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 2540 is about contingent deferred annuities. It's an insurance bill that was brought to us on behalf of Prudential Financial. It requires a technical change in current statute in order to allow Kansas residents to be able to access contingent deferred annuities in Kansas. So you may be asking yourself, what is a contingent deferred annuity? It's an insurance product that guarantees a lifetime income only if your associated investment accounts falls below a predetermined threshold. So it's a type of deferred annuity that is designed to provide retirement income protection without requiring you to transfer your assets to the insurance company. It kind of acts as a safety net, and it's something that 41 other states offer. So it's part of an old rule called, or the reason we're bringing this forward is there's an old rule called a non-forfeiture law. It states that if someone cancels an annuity, the insurance company has to refund a fair amount of its cash value. The CDAs guarantee a lifetime income if a customer's externally managed investment account is depleted and the insurer never holds those funds. So it's not a traditional annuity. They don't have that internal cash value. So the non-forfeiture language that we currently have in statute is just not appropriate. So what we're doing is aligning state law with the National Association of Insurance Commissioners model language to allow our Kansas residents to access CDAs, and then to allow the insurance department to set the rules and regs for that. There was one in-person proponent from Prudential Financial. We had one written-only proponent from the American Council of Life Insurers. We had no opponents, no neutral. There's no fiscal impact on the Department of Insurance, or the state. The House had this bill on the consent calendar, and it passed unanimously on February 17, 2026. So, Mr. Chair, I will stand for questions.
Are there questions for the senator from Shawnee? Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson.
Mr. Chair, I support this bill. Non-forfeiture clauses are for when an entity, insurer, a loan, an annuity company, holds the funds. And in this case, the funds are held by the individual and not the business entity. So the non-forfeiture clause does not apply and should not apply. So I support this bill.
Any additional questions for the senator from Shawnee? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that when the committee rises and report House Bill 2540 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We will now turn our attention to Senate Bill 515. Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson. Senator Rose, explain the bill, please.
Thank you, Chair. Today in Kansas, a student who is enrolled or attending a non-accredited private elementary or secondary school, commonly referred to as a homeschooled student, can participate in ks activities at a public school, but not a private school. Senate Bill 515 would allow homeschool kids to participate in student activities at non-public schools or private schools, if the private school chooses to allow this. The governing body of a non-public school may adopt policies regarding the participation of those students who are participating in an activity at their school. In order to participate in an activity, the student must be a resident of Kansas, enrolled and attending a non-accredited private elementary or secondary school, meet other ks eligibility requirements, pay any fees required by the non-public school for participation, be permitted to participate in the activity by the governing body of the non-public school. The governing body of the non-public school shall determine if the student meets academic eligibility requirements established by KSHA. The governing body of a non-public school may require a student who participates in an activity to enroll or complete a particular course as a condition of participation. Students can be required to try out. The bill expands the extracurricular options for Kansas kids who are homeschooled. And with that, I stand for questions.
Questions for the senator from Johnson. Chair recognizes Senator from Sedgwick. Senator Blasey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, it's come to my attention in the last week or so from my district, concern about activities that are sponsored by schools that continue to interrupt family time, and if you're a person of faith, church time. And so I have an amendment, and it's 4270.
Thank you. We'll pause for a moment while we hand that amendment out.
He's going to exempt.
Senator, do you want to explain your amendment or have it read?
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and explain it. So currently, KSHA has rules that state school activities can't happen if it's 5-day period, which includes December 25th, usually over the Christmas break. It usually says there's a 7-day break, including around the 4th of July. And then there might be another one in there, but more or less, this amendment is going to ensure that on Sundays and Wednesday evenings after 6 p.m., those are times that are usually reserved in many communities across our state that are reserved for their family and oftentimes other community activities, and if you're a person of faith, church activities. And so this is going to ensure that we focus on what really keeps strong communities, that is family and faith. And so this amendment will just codify what some states already codify into law, and it takes already a lot of the KSHA rules and puts them into law and adds a little more just to protect what has been a custom of our state. I stand for questions.
Are there questions on the amendment? The chair recognizes Senator from Johnson. Senator Sykes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a clarification. This bill is only affecting non-public schools, not public schools. So my question is this amendment just for non-public schools, or does it expand to public schools?
Mr. Chairman, it would include schools that participate in KSHA. So private schools are participating in KSHA activities.
Senator from Johnson.
So repeat that last. So public and private school, even though the underlying bill is just for private schools.
Senator from Sedgwick.
Yes, sir. It would say public and private schools would be included.
Senator from Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Are there any additional questions? Chair recognizes Senator from Lynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise in strong support of this amendment. It's a sad day that we have to legislate this. Years ago, it wasn't even an issue. It was a standard and acceptable, but here we are. So I thank the good senator for bringing the amendment, and I support.
Are there any additional questions on the amendment? Chair recognizes Senator from Douglas. Senator Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question for the senator from Sedgwick is what religions were considered in identifying the dates of these moratoriums?
Chair recognizes Senator from Sedgwick.
Mr. Chairman, not any particular religion was considered. This was just in response to constituents at home who participate in various religious backgrounds, who have activities on Wednesday evenings. This is predominantly the reason behind this amendment, who have been interrupted by activities that continue to be scheduled on Wednesday nights or practices that continue to run longer and longer and longer that interrupt activities.
Chair recognizes Senator from Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I understand the idea about Wednesday, but this amendment also talks about December 25th and Easter. So I was asking, and those seem to me to be Christian holidays, so I was asking if there were any other religions whose holidays were considered.
Senator from Sedgwick.
Mr. Chairman, so December 25th, which is Christmas to Christians, is already covered under KSHA rules today.
Senator from Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And some of that may be the breaks that schools take. Is Easter Sunday already covered under KSHA rules?
Senator from Sedgwick.
Mr. Chairman, it is not. It would be a new one included.
Senator from Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My constituents would like me to be as inclusive as possible, and I'm not sure this amendment is. Thank you.
Additional questions on the amendment? The chair recognizes Senator from Reno.
Thank you, Chair. I stand in strong support of this amendment as well. I remember it's been a minute or two since I was involved in school sports, but I distinctly remember that back in the day, our society just took better care of ourselves, I guess, and we relaxed a little bit more. And Wednesday was a traditional time when there was lots of times an evening worship service or a class or something like that. And Sunday was a day that we just took and took it easy and didn't get involved in a lot of stuff. And I just think as we move away from that, we do so at our peril. And I think it's time that we start kind of moving back to some of those traditions that served us well. Thank you.
Any additional questions for the Senator from Sedgwick on the amendment? Chair recognizes Senator from Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I agree with the good senator from Reno, as well as the senator from Lynn on their comments. And the bedrock of our country is based upon religion, and just want to continue to have that strong bedrock. So thank you. I'll rise in support.
Any additional questions on the amendment? Seeing none, Senator, you may move your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment celebrates a lot of the things we like to do in our state. In fact, my community loves sports, loves activities, and it holds a lot of state championships, and we take a lot of pride in a lot of the hard work that our students commit to. It takes long practices. It takes sometimes weekend practices, and sometimes there's tough games on the field, and they happen on the weekends. But this amendment just ensures that we focus on what's also very important, and more important than sports, which is the family and community. And many people have community around their local church and other various religious backgrounds. And so we are just focusing on these things that keep strong communities, and that is why I move this amendment.
You make a motion? Move the amendment? Okay.
I moved my amendment, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carries. We are back on the bill. Chair recognizes the senator from Johnson, Senator Rose.
I stand for questions.
Any addition? Chair recognizes Senator from Wyandotte, Senator Petty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a question for the carrier of the bill. In a committee, we heard from KSHA about this very issue, and one of the of their points was the fact that one, Acacia is made has broad representation, has over, I think it's 75 members on it, and they you know, they take into consideration all the needs sports-wise. So, whereas this particular bill would now pretty much allow cherry picking for within the non-accredited or within the private schools or the non-public schools. So could you address that issue?
Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson, Senator Rose.
Thank you, Chair. Current state law allows homeschool students to participate in CASHA activities in public schools, but currently they're not allowed to participate in CASHA activities at private schools. So this legislation would simply expand the options for Kansas homeschool kids who desire to participate in CASHA activities at a private school.
Senator from Wyandotte.
Just as I'm going to share this information directly, the rules of the CASHA have been written, adopted, and amended by the leaders of their member schools, and they have within the membership there are 746 member schools of the association, and we know that they're both public and private schools, and the governing board is made up of 75 representatives, individuals elected to reflect these policies and practices that support student achievement and academic success. So it seems that here we have all the member schools involved. We have broad representation. I really didn't realize there were 75 members on that board. So their concern is the ability of the association to fulfill their fundamental goal of providing competitive and equitable and equality for member schools. I think CASHA is there for a purpose. They have, I believe they've done a good job of, we're seeing some of the results of that right now. If you're watching any or supporting any high school team that's participating in basketball at this moment, it's pretty exciting to see as they're moving on from their regionals to a state competition. So this then makes a change that actually CASHA could make themselves instead of us imposing on them. So I think we have something, or we have supported and have an association in place that represents all of the members, and I think it should be a decision made by them, not here at the state level. I oppose this bill.
Chair recognizes Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill arose because a homeschool student wanted to go to a private school and participate in CASHA. If that homeschool student had gone to a public school, that's allowed. The private school wanted to allow this homeschool student to participate, but CASHA said no. This bill does not mandate the private school has to accept a homeschool student to participate in CASHA. They just want the option to be able to do what public schools are able to do as it relates to homeschool students and the option to participate in activities. So I strongly support this bill and urge the body to do the same. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson, Senator Sykes.
Thank you. I have actually had several coaches from private schools reach out to me, and I just want to share one of those emails. I'm writing in regards to Senate Bill 515. I know this is late, but I felt like I needed to write what I have seen, so I will keep it short. When this topic became a conversation back in 23-24, I knew that it was going to be a very difficult one to regulate. To start off with, I have nothing against homeschooling your child. That's everyone's God-given choice. As a basketball coach, I expect my players to follow not only the school's rules and regulations, but mine as well. Now, I do not have any homeschool students on my team, but I have visited with other coaches. For example, if one of my school athletes is ineligible, they don't play. My players have to attend after-school study hall if they are on the verge or any ineligibility list. And that after-school study hall is during practice time. How do I hold homeschoolers accountable for whatever kind of schooling that they are getting? He says, as a coach, how do I explain to those athletes that the homeschool have a different set of rules? My athletes also have to be in the school all day in order to play in a game that day, unless it's an excused absence. I had one athlete this year who doesn't have the best home life. He's a great basketball player, but one morning he missed his alarm and was 45 minutes late to school. He was ineligible to play in the game that day. I have personally seen parents pull their kids from public school because they couldn't stay eligible but wanted to play sports. So what is this showing them about student athletes? I said I would keep it short, and I will end there. I know western rural Kansas is not a high priority to 99% of the people in Topeka, but one size should not fit all. We are a rare breed, and we want what's best for our communities. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have a question for the carrier of the bill.
Standing.
Do homeschool students who want to participate in private school activities have to follow the same rules as other students?
Chair recognizes Senator from Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, they do.
Senator from Sedgwick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do homeschool students who want to participate in activities at private schools have to pay the same fee as other students?
Senator from Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. According to this legislation, yes, they do.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Are there any additional questions for the Senator from Johnson? Seeing none, Senator, you may close.
Thank you, Chair. This bill increases the extracurricular opportunities for Kansas students who are homeschooled. Activities such as athletics, music, debate, and other programs provide students with meaningful opportunities to develop teamwork, discipline, and leadership. By enabling non-public schools to include students from non-accredited schools in these activities, Senate Bill 515 promotes collaboration, strengthens educational communities, and expands opportunities for young people across Kansas. I move that when the committee rises and reports, it reports Senate Bill 515 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. The chair recognizes Majority Leader from Sedgwick, Senator Blasey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
Yeah. Sorry, tried to leave a little bit early. You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries.
Clerk will read the committee report.
On motion of Senator Blasey, the Senate resolved itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of bills on the calendar under the heading of General Orders with Senator Bowser in the chair. Recommended, House Bill 2568, House Bill 2652, House Bill 2507, Sub-House Bill 2250, House Bill 2413, House Bill 2605 be amended by the adoption of the committee reports and the bills be passed as amended. House Bill 2433, House Bill 2478, House Bill 2540 be passed. Senate Bill 515 be amended on motion of Senator Blasey and the bill be passed as amended. Senate Sub House Bill 2745 be passed over and retain a place on the calendar.
Chair recognizes Senator from Jackson, Senator Bowser, to adopt the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move we adopt the committee report.
Heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Committee report is adopted. Reports of standing committees. Clerk will read.
Mr. President, the Committee on Local Government, Transparency, and Ethics recommends House Bill 2099 be amended by substituting with a new bill to be designated as Senate substitute for House Bill 2099, and the substitute bill be passed. Mr. President, the Committee on Ways and Means recommends Senate Bill 513 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Mr. President, the Committee on Transportation recommends House Bill 2467 be passed. Mr. President, the Committee on Education recommends House Bill 2320 be passed. Mr. President, the Committee on Education recommends House Bill 2761 be passed. Mr. President, the Committee on Education recommends House Bill 2618 be passed. Mr. President, the Committee on Education recommends House Bill 2560 be passed.
Under the heading Consideration of Motions to Concur and Non-Concur, the Chair recognizes Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Peterson, for Senate Bill 325.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate non-concurrent House amendments to Senate Bill 325 and request the Conference Committee be appointed.
For the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion is carries. Chair appoints conferees on behalf of the Senate. Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Peterson, Senator from Leavenworth, Senator Klemp, Senator from Johnson, Senator Corson. Chair recognizes Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Peterson for Senate Bill 353.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate non-concur and House amendments to Senate Bill 353 and request the Conference Committee be appointed.
For the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Chair appoints as conferees on part of the Senate. Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Peterson, Senator from Leavenworth, Senator Klemp, Senator from Johnson, Senator Corson. Chair recognizes Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Peterson on Senate Bill 403.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate non-concur and House amendments to Senate Bill 403 and request the Conference Committee be appointed.
For the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Chair appoints as conferees on behalf of the Senate, Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Peterson, Senator from Leavenworth, Senator Klemp, Senator from Johnson, Senator Corson. Chair recognizes Senator from Shawnee, Senator Dietrich, for motion to concur or non-concur, or whatever motion she makes.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate non-concur in House amendments to Senate Bill 435 and request a conference committee be appointed.
That was the motion you were supposed to make. For the motion, all in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. The chair appoints as conferees on the part of the Senate, Senator from Shawnee, Senator Dietrich, Senator from Butler, Senator Fagg, and the Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Miller. Consideration of motions concur, non-concur. The chair recognizes the Senator from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move the Senate non-concur and House amendments to Senate Bill 229 and request a conference committee be appointed.
You heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion carries. The chair appoints as conferees on the part of the Senate, Senator from Cali, Senator Alley, Senator from Harvey, Senator Owens, and the Senator from Sedgwick, Senator Fauskido. Are reports of standing committees? Have we done that? Well, then we're going to go to announcements. Chair recognizes Senator from Cali, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Senate Commerce Committee will meet at 10:30 tomorrow in a usual room instead of 10 o'clock that was announced yesterday. 10:30.
Chair recognizes Senator from Finney, Senator Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I'd like to remind everyone again about the shrimp peel. It's 2 weeks from yesterday, so it's coming up. It'll be upon you very quickly, and again, it's down at the Agricultural Hall at the Expo Center. Auction items are still needed. You can bring those by 223 East. It's Senator Dietrich's office. I'd like to let everyone know about what the House is doing. On the Friday before John Ressman died, he died a week ago Sunday, he wrote a check for $250 to the Special Olympics. So all the House members have been challenged to match that $250. So we here in the Senate really need to up our game since we're certainly outnumbered. And I've got my check today, which is personal, but you could write it from your campaign account for $250. But since we senators have to step up, I have a $1,000 check from my campaign fund that I'm donating. I challenge my fellow senators, we can't let the House out fundraise us on this. So I'd encourage you to bring your checks by Senator Dietrich's office. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Chair recognizes the senator from Johnson, Minority Leader Sykes.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I just want to say thank you to the Majority Leader for not having any zombie bills today.
We're about out of zombie bills. Chair recognizes the senator from Johnson, Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Just an announcement, no Judiciary Committee meeting tomorrow. Thank you.
Recognizes the senator from Sedgwick, Majority Leader Blasey.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I think most committees are meeting tomorrow. You can check the calendar to see if you're meeting. Hopefully, most of you, if not all of you, will be here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. because we'll do final action at 8 o'clock. And we'll try to be sharp so everybody can get to committee by 8:30. Mr. Vice President, I move the Senate adjourn until 8 a.m. on Friday, March 13th, 2026.
For the motion, all in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned.